this is one of your super tabulators that we use, is a central location that anybody can put in.
So, well, okay, so this is not one of our early vote tabulators. The county of Midland, we actually have a tabulator that we keep for election day if we need it somewhere, right? We could take it and we could deploy it anywhere, because it has every single jurisdiction loaded on it. So that's actually the tabulator we're using today. So yeah, so we don't, this is the first time we've deployed it ever. Because we haven't really had, we've had to change out tabulators at locations before, but never had to use the county one. It just is gonna make it way easier for everybody so that the machine will tabulate it versus a person tabulating it, making sure there's not a
Hello,
crossover and all
Mr.
that
Chairman.
kind of stuff, so.
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
Do I get to sit here by myself?
You have to sit there by yourself.
What a sad situation. Do we get any ballots in?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
do.
Oh, yeah.
We have between 5 and 7, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
But this is, okay, so what we decided to do, I know we haven't called it to order, but I'm just gonna explain a little bit. What we decided to do was to use the tabulator to tabulate them. Because it's a primary, and if someone splits their ticket, the ballot's gonna come back out at us, we're gonna know that happened versus somebody trying to make sure with their eyes that somebody didn't vote for, And this way, it's easier for John to upload it into the state's website, because we have to print off the final canvas for you all to sign. And if John had to do this all by hand, you'd be here for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, you'd be sitting for about an hour and a half.
So we figured this would be the best option, but this is a zero state, and this literally has zeros for every single race in the entire county of Midland. This tape printed off every precinct and every race.
That there's no discrepancies.
There's no ballots cast on it.
This means that this machine right here says there has been 0 ballots cast.
And even if you didn't look at the date, you'll be able to see on the public counter at the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, and so we're gonna have you guys actually get up, once Steve calls the meeting to order.
Yep.
And then we'll go through the opening the bags and getting the ballots out and feeding them through.
Cool. And then that will automatically place the vote at
Where it
the right
goes,
race.
you got it.
Yeah.
So it keeps me from, we've
From
got
having to go
roughly
back.
7, 8 ballots.
Yeah.
Each one of those ballots has, roughly speaking, 30 races on it. So 30 times 8 is how many things I'm gonna have to hand tally and put in and look
Right.
accurately.
Got it.
Versus loading them on these 2 chips,
Automatically.
sticking them in the same process as the other machinery did,
Love it.
and it'll automatically parse the votes out, just like the EV does, just like everything else. You can double check it too. I mean, it's-
We're gonna
it's
talk about that. So
You're gonna
let's-
get a totals
let's-
tape and you'll see the totals change.
So let's let Steve call the meeting to order, and we'll talk about what these ballots are that you're gonna see.
Call the meeting to order. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. This is the Midland County Board of Canvassers meeting. Call the roll. David?
I'm here.
Here.
Here. Dennis is here. Steve is here. Scott is not here, but we knew that beforehand. This is the follow-up meeting of the Midland County Board of Canvassers to identify and to count any ballots that would have come in postmarked prior to the election that were received on or after I assume after the election day.
So what you're gonna see today is we have ballots that were returned, either by a military overseas voter that came in, it was postmarked prior to election day, that came in after. You are also going to see signature cure ballots, okay? So if someone fills out an application or fills out a ballot, an absentee ballot, and their signature does not match, the clerk must notify that individual. But that individual has 5 days after the election to come in and cure their signature. So there are some ballots in here where individuals came in and cured their signature with the city clerk, and or the township clerk.
No, the only township ballot we have over there is from Hope Township, and it is a UOCAVA voter, uniformed overseas,
Military,
civilian, not military, civilian, but they live overseas.
a civilian.
The move flavor is the same thing, but military. UOCAVA just means you're an American citizen living overseas.
So that is what you're going to see in these bags. So if you guys want to get up, somebody open the first bag, and then we're gonna open up the ballot itself, and then someone's gonna of all, I want you gentlemen to look here and see that the ballots cast on this machine says 0.
0. And then Dennis, this is
This is from,
30 Hope Township, 309, what's that, 36918. 36918.
so this has not been opened yet.
That is correct. So that's what you guys are going to do.
We need to,
Did you flip
here.
the write-in bin up?
No, I can make sure that it's.
Let's make sure to do that, please.
Yeah. So we don't have to
Alright.
check the rating.
Put the ballot.
try to put that out.
Okay, one of the things that we need to do first off is we need to verify, the ballot number. Yeah, 1148, so that should be the stub number that's on the stub of that ballot.
There it is,
1148,
1148.
okay. So you're gonna pull that out, and you're gonna take and pull that up just a little bit so you can tear the stub off, cause you can't put the stub through the machine.
Okay,
You really can't, cause it really messes with stuff.
so I'm tearing this stuff off. and then
Go try it.
It has happened before, but it causes issues. So we're gonna just slide that right in
And
there.
I pull the ballot out.
Yeah, then you're gonna pull the ballot out, and then you're gonna feed it through the machine.
Alright,
Feed it upside down.
And I assume you've got the signature card, these have all been confirmed.
These have all been
Yeah.
confirmed by the clerk, yeah, that they
Feed it
are
in any way you
the
want.
correct signature. We just need to
Anyway,
confirm the
Any
ballot
way you
number.
want,
That's all.
it'll work.
You took the stub off, right?
Yes, even though Dave said you don't have to. I said, you
We're
really
not-
need to.
I think.
Nothing happened.
Well, hang on, it's,
Segments
I
ago,
know.
Still
about
thinking?
10 years
Yep.
ago, they were feeding them all in.
ballot was successfully cast,
One ballot.
one ballot,
System ready.
okay?
Alright,
So
so
you
we
can
need
go
to
ahead.
reseal this or
Yep,
just
so
stuff
you're
every?
gonna, yep, so but we're gonna leave it open for right now,
Okay.
because,
We'll do the sealing all at once at the end.
yeah, we'll seal everything yeah.
I'm gonna go
altogether.
grab you, I forgot to bring 3 more seals to seal.
okay, right now.
Alright,
Yep.
grab another one. Nine five five 46. 95546.
Okay, this is there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this one.
Okay.
Alright. First one, we have a signature on the back, should be ballot 2609.
You know, Ed, I'm not sure that the empty envelopes have to go back under seal, but we might as well.
Yeah, I'm not 100% positive, but we might as well
Ballot,
be safe
right?
than sorry.
Got it.
And ballot number, the tab. Oh, that's over. 2609 matches that number. All good, pull the tab off. Got it.
You know the one I was worried about, Ann? Getting one back from Porter Township where that race has been to.
You mean
You got
Jasper?
a phone.
Jasper, exactly.
It's got a signature. Is that the signature
That's the
confirmation?
signature cure, so.
That's the cure?
So, this person appeared in front of the clerk. Yeah, and to see if they've checked the box, my signature differs due to a medical condition, okay?
That's worse than Trump's.
So when.
Whoa,
So when,
whoa.
so see what happened was when the city clerk looked at this and verified it with the driver's license,
Yeah.
there was no way it matched, right? So
Right.
immediately they reached out to the individual came in, and they, filled this out that they have a medical condition, and so
I didn't
this is their
understand
actual
that.
signature. So, this is called
Here.
a signature keyword.
There you go.
the number on that?
1380.
Yeah.
And that number is?
1380. I'll take the envelope and the tab, put it over here.
How many of those ballots did you guys get, signature cure from the city?
Well, so far, 2 signature cures. Or wait,
Wait,
Backward and up.
they say it as well, so I don't know.
One bag is all signature cures from the city. The
Okay,
other
so then
bag-
there's 5.
Okay.
There you go.
The other bags are, UOCAVA and.
Reject it, turn it on the other way, just to see.
Paper insert was misread.
Okay, just flip it around.
Since
Flip
when
it
did
around.
it doesn't do it upside down?
It does, it just,
doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't matter
should,
which way you
but
put it.
Well, it seemed to think so.
That's it.
Well, it's not done yet.
Wait, wait,
There you go.
3.
I wanna do the next one too. I'm gonna
All right,
do it-
now we
try
got
it
the
and
letter.
Give it a second chance.
An older gentleman brought 2 unsealed ballots to the counter and asked if all he had to do was seal them. I said, one is yours and the other is your wife's. He said yes, and told him we would have to issue her a new one, explained it was because no one could be in possession of her unsealed ballot, even a spouse. He moved away from the counter with the ballots, said she was outside, and proceeded to leave. I quickly went over with Sean, wondered whether or not we could accept it. If I followed him out, checked his wife's ID, and had her verify and see the ballot. I grabbed the clipboard, and after him caught him sitting down on the bench between the buildings, I seemed to rest. He then sealed both ballots. I came around the side where he could see me, greeted him, asked if she was out here. He admitted she was not. I took both ballots inside. The ballots are for me, though I didn't get any ID to verify that the gentleman was. And obviously not there, right?
Well, so we have to make a decision as to whether we should accept those.
Why, look, is it just the one?
That was not put on my radar that.
I don't know what this is. Can you get Sean on the phone?
Yep, no, I'm gonna get, and
This
Lacey's
is-
not, that was not,
Because I'm
brought to
thinking,
my attention
if
to
all,
piece
so
of
what,
that bag.
they must obviously counted
It is what it
his,
is.
Cause he was there.
Unless I cured her signature in front of them.
Well, that's the thing, I'm not sure that, city should have even delivered them.
Well, that's,
Do us.
yeah, that's the question. Okay, so these ones I think we can process, because this is the one that has the note.
Okay.
Let's set this one aside. And,
Signature cured, knock yourself out. Should be ballot 1351.
If I could aim.
Come on, alright, let's go.
$13.51.
1351. This and this.
You gonna put it in back?
Feed it through.
These
Okay.
machines are
Yeah,
supposed to be
you can
smart
turn it
enough
upside
to
down
do
like
that.
you
I'll settle down.
Okay.
Boom.
Told you.
Give the bus.
Alright, that's one.
This is yours?
That's the one we're waiting on.
Yeah, we gotta show.
See what happened to Eleanor.
Uh,
All
And
right.
perhaps she showed up later and they just didn't make it.
1818. 1818. Alright, I will take this thing on. There you go, we'll feed that through the machine.
Which way are you gonna
please.
feed it in this time? Oh, up, right side up and front side down and.
Kind of way I'm up
You're
front,
straight up
always
there.
up front, I'm always that way, I don't do the back side of it. You guys do that.
Alright, then we got what, one more bag there?
Yep, you might as well go
Behind
ahead and
you
do that.
guys?
We'll just set this aside until
Okay.
Sean comes over.
99902. 99902. Yeah, the needle knows are much better than the fingers. Appreciate that.
John was in charge of that this morning, so you can thank him for getting the right
Ooh.
tool.
Some paperwork.
Voter registration absentee ballot request, we have that. We got a mail-in? What is this? This is different.
So this is a military ballot. So
Oh, this is a
you have to
military.
remember that when we send military ballots, we send them via email. Okay? So we're gonna have to see what kind of ballot return we have, because we could be asking the city to bring us one of their ballots from that precinct. We might have to duplicate
And
it.
usually you have to. Got it.
Okay,
So-
so here's the request.
Yeah,
Is this accurate?
there's one for each of them, so.
We got a
Two.
husband
Yeah,
and wife.
there's a husband and wife.
Jerome and Michelle.
So this is the absentee ballot supposedly.
So we're gonna have to open them, and I'm assuming that we're gonna have to then go and, get a ballot from the city, for these, because we're gonna have to duplicate them, because I'm sure they're on paper.
Okay, so Michelle signed this second one, which looks kind of like that.
I know that looks a lot like that from here.
then
And it
here
is
we go,
paper, so let me look and see what precinct they are
I
in.
don't think they teach that in school anymore.
Precinct
yeah.
3.
Cursive?
Huh?
Cursive?
Yeah.
I wonder how John's gonna wanna do that, if he's gonna want to manually add those, or if we're gonna wanna duplicate. Let me go, hang on, let me go check
Okay,
with,
got it.
over to the city, be right back.
So that's, oops, sorry. Hello. So there's the request for her. Here's the certificate back for her with the matching signature. And then here's her ballot, we'll put over here.
That's hers too, or?
Yeah, that's hers. And then his is gonna be this one here with that signature. It looks to be the same. And then his two-page ballot. Got it. And then the question is, we're still waiting to see what happened to Eleanor, cause it sounds like we're not counting that ballot because she wasn't around and he sealed it when he went out to the park bench. And then we got these two to either put onto a cardboard ballot or not.
You have the, what you call it?
What's that?
You only voted for one two races.
Yeah, this doesn't have any of the issues.
We're gonna get the ballot here in a minute. Sean wants to explain this one.
Eleanor.
So this situation, we just wanted you guys to be aware of it. We do not think that it should be counted, but we wanted you to be aware of it.
Thank you.
Good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, these are Ward 2, Precinct 3, so there are two.
Can I have something to write down? Because I need, they're in, there we go.
Yeah, wait.
It's husband and wife.
They're
Oh,
in,
good morning.
their choices are A or B, and of course, QBF does not put on the labels.
Okay,
So-
yep, so if you bring back that ballot, and
Two
then.
of 'em.
Yep, 2 of them, yep,
Okay.
and then we're gonna duplicate those, and then, so then I guess it's up to,
So I'm good for right now.
I make a motion.
Yes.
motion. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Who's making the motion?
Dennis is making a motion,
Okay.
That we not count this ballot for
Yeah.
for the explained reasons.
yeah, that the ballot for Eleanor
Gatsky.
Gatsky not be processed.
Because it was delivered unopened.
Was delivered by someone that was not authorized to deliver.
Correct.
This is not authorized to deliver, it's why
So
was
there's a motion.
If it would've been sealed, it would've been fine.
That would have been,
What if he sealed it?
he
When he
didn't
was
know,
home.
he didn't though, he came in with it
With it unsealed.
Okay.
And then that sounds like he went out to the park.
Okay, he sealed it.
Didn't seal it.
He wasn't there, I mean, just like he would be at home.
Maybe,
It's-
but,
At the end of the day.
Y'all have
what
to
you
decide,
gotta
Okay.
I'm not weighing in on this, but
I think you should count it.
if the
Okay.
ballot was sealed when it
I
was
voted
delivered.
against, you voted for.
I'm gonna second what Dennis said, and his motion is to not count the ballot. Any further discussion?
I'm not voting on that.
No more discussion
All in favor
of not counting it.
of not counting? Aye,
Right.
and then Dave,
Sure.
you're nay?
I'm a nay.
He's a nay. That's okay.
This is another first.
Bart, I
We've
know.
never had this before.
Isn't this exciting?
Yeah.
You never thought you'd see so much drama here.
I know, right?
love it.
This is crazy. We are gonna need to have a pen.
Here.
So I can, okay, alright, Steve's got one.
I got a pen.
Steve's got one.
Look at it.
We're gonna have to mark the ballot, so someone's gonna have to read the ballot to Steve or to somebody in the ballot.
You guys are about to duplicate those ballots.
Cause this one's blue.
It's not that it's blue, it's the fact that I don't know if it's jelly.
Pretty casual
It is
today.
Yeah, we don't
Mr.
want that.
Commissioner?
No.
It'll get gooey inside there.
Yes, John,
Might give you a thrill.
I heard that's a problem with latex paint.
Absolutely. You know what?
And more than that.
Oil-based paint, because it evaporates.
Marking your ballot with, oil-based paint,
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Or latex paint,
Not a
that
good
make it
idea.
all gooey. So do you have ballots at your office, or is she going over
She
the
has,
city?
we have.
we keep no ballots except for early vote.
Okay.
Because we're in charge of early vote, so we have all the ballots from early vote. Every other jurisdiction has all of their own.
Okay.
Those are the voted ballots. We actually don't have a single blank ballot, because those are made when they meet in the.
Right, early
When
vote,
they come
we
in,
do,
you distribute them out
so, well,
to the clerks?
so we get all the ballots from the vendor, from the printer. And then we get two shipments. We get earlier in the, obviously process, we get all the absentees for each jurisdiction. And so we pack their AV bags with the supplies that they need for absentees. They come pick those up. Then we get a second shipment from the printer of all election day ballots. And then again, we pack those, we seal them, we give them all their supplies that they need for election day, and they come and get those.
So at the end of the day, at the end of that process, we don't have a single blank ballot.
Agreed. Get it?
We just don't have, we used to, back in the day, when I first started doing this, we used to store all the ballots for all the jurisdictions.
Right.
But we just don't have room. I mean, obviously, that was back in punch card days. Punch cards are much smaller,
Right.
much easier to store. We just don't have the room for it. We don't have the room for the stuff that we have now. That's our problem. We keep telling Bridget,
Taking over offices everywhere.
you better be building something, you better be thinking about something.
Do we need to mark anywhere on this ballot that?
You certainly could put on there that it was rejected.
Let me get you a red pen though, Steve.
It was rejected due to the fact that it was not sealed when it was delivered to the city,
Yeah.
so. And then that way, there's, permanent record of it, and John's got it in the minutes as well, so.
So the ballots.
Oh.
That I carried them in unsealed.
All right, Dennis, I think I'm gonna need you over here to watch me.
And he goes,
Yes, you're good, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
because it's unsealed. And he goes, oh, she's in the car. I'll take it
So,
out. And
There.
have her
I'm
send
gonna
it.
So
duplicate
this
a
is-
ballot.
Then he just said, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
duplicate ballot
unseal
number
them.
one.
And he
Okay.
was asked.
All
And
right.
this is ballot number 2 right here.
What do we got?
And he wanted it
Well, you're
voted.
gonna read to him, so
Do
you're
I
gonna,
need-
you're
do I
gonna
need
read,
to-
yeah.
Here's what
Do
we
we,
take.
what do we do about the number? Do we put it somewhere in this paperwork
thinking,
for
oh.
her?
Birthday, when I
We
want to say.
can, so let's see, this is his, this is hers. So go ahead and right down
Yep.
here, put the ballot number. 1840.
So no, he was willing to go. Well, they could have done it at all. The fact that he was
Okay,
willing
so then what you're
to
gonna
be
do,
in
obviously, is you're gonna say
should be
United States
question.
Senator, and
Should
then
have been
Slotkin, you can just say the last name.
Slotkin,
And they also admitted.
Rivet,
They also admitted that
Lopez,
they did not do any identification.
no votes, Mickelson.
I wanna get in front of that door.
Hello,
Oh,
where's
John
the-
might come through it.
Nicholson,
Mickelson.
Bring just him and his wife.
Let's see.
any delegate votes?
Michael Heitman,
But it was unsealed.
nope, sorry, Linda Heitman.
Linda Mickelson. Linda Mickelson.
Well, another one.
Linda Mickelson.
Linda Mickelson,
Spoiled ballot.
spoil ballot.
You guys need another one?
You guys got it, next page.
Well, hold
Ballot
on.
proposals.
Let me wait till I
Oh.
come back in here.
Yeah, we might need another one.
Well, if I only mark half of, circle
don't
of
see
the count.
Okay, ready?
Our machinery said
Hold
count
on,
anything
I
more
gotta-
than 12 pixels.
What do I do with this? I'm gonna rip it in half.
Oh, wait.
We'll probably write spoiled on it and give it back to the clerk so that they can put it with their other ballots.
Sorry.
Where am I gonna put that ripped up ballot?
Well, it's only
Trash
spoiled
can?
because you wrote off the wrong
That's-
name.
But that's all right,
So this
but
is
we're gonna send a
evidence
spoiled
of
ballot
why-
back to the station.
Okay.
Okay,
We
ready?
can't read it, but count it as an overvote, not count.
No,
I mean,
that's
it's
not, we're following the
It's
system.
like, well,
Well, yeah.
Well, shouldn't I just
our board of
grab another
officers
ballot
are-
and start refilling it?
Yeah, you guys can for right now. She's got it.
This one I'm gonna say,
Okay,
But-
ready, start
this
over
one's no
again?
good.
So, yeah, that's it, so what I might suggest, have you
Yeah.
guys ever duplicated ballots before? Probably not, right?
No.
What
Right.
works best is where one person calls out what needs to be marked, right? And let's say David looks over his shoulder and says, yes, that's what needs to be marked. Maybe you put your finger down on it, and then David looks over and David and, Dennis will say yes, and then you place the mark.
All right.
Very, very
You got it.
direct, like this is
So
what
I'm
I'm
gonna
about to
say-
do.
This is the Democrat precinct delegate.
All right, hold on. I gotta start all over again now.
You're doing the
Okay,
same
ready?
one again?
Nope, not yet. I gotta change the number on the ballot.
So we're doing the same one over again.
Straight
Yeah.
ballots that came in Democrats.
1842.
You ready?
I'm gonna initial that. All right, so let's start at the top. 1842. What do you got?
Slotkin,
Slotkin, correct?
Yes.
Rivet,
Rivet, correct?
Lopez,
Lopez, correct?
CJ Mickelson,
I'm gonna flip it now. CJ Mickelson, correct?
a delegate to the county convention. Linda D. Mickelson,
Linda D. Mickelson, correct? That's it?
next, correct, next page.
And then let's go to the county proposals. 911,
911 is a yes.
yes, correct?
Well, three of them are yes.
Village renewal,
Yes.
yes, correct? Pinecrest
Yes.
renewal and increase, yes. Got it.
That's
All right,
that.
so that's her ballot.
And here's this.
And apparently we can run it through. Right?
Yeah.
Dave?
I screwed up the system.
You're doing fine.
And I didn't want to.
Yeah, we got to see what happens, how you get spoiled out.
Okay.
Sorry, spoiled ballot.
They're gonna need one more.
Okay,
I'll run over and grab it real quick.
okay, alright, get you.
And then you had a red pen? Oh,
Yeah,
got it.
right there.
And this is for,
Just to write rejected, or whatever the terminology.
rejected, 8/13/24. Let's put some initials on it, if you don't mind. Got it. All right, 22's good. If one Democrat, one Republican, we should be all right.
We're gonna, it'll go with the rest of the ballots back in the bag, but.
Okay. And then we just have the one
2 bags for the city.
I
We'll
started,
have 1 for.
I started filling this out and I made a mistake on that one.
Ah.
It's supposed to be this one,
Gotcha.
so this is like void.
Yep. And then, we'll just put that in the bag with the other stuff.
Alright,
Boom,
don't do that again, David.
got it. Boom,
This is an update.
No, this is just the 7 ballots we just did.
This,
So I'm going to
Oh,
read
this
to
is
you.
exclusively that we just did?
Yes, sir.
Just 7?
Yeah.
Yes,
So that
sir.
you guys can make sure that, before I move
This
those
is
on to
printed
the big bucket,
two-sided.
that you're happy that it accurately
This is
counted
printed
those.
two-sided, just so we're all aware.
Alright,
So your first race is gonna be a US Senator race. You're gonna see that Harper got 1 vote, Slotkin got 4 votes,
alright.
Yep,
okay?
correct.
And we're gonna continue with the Dems and then we'll go back to the Republicans because they're gonna be on different pages and I don't want you to have to keep flipping back
I
and
see,
forth.
I get it.
Congress, Pugh got 1 vote, Rivette got 4.
Correct.
Moving on to the state rep position. Lopez, 3 votes. And then I think you're gonna go to your county commission race for Dems. And I don't know who shows up first, Smith, Hill, or Mickelson. You're gonna have to tell me when you get to your Democratic, county commission.
Look at,
Hill.
H5 is first.
Doug Hill, the second district.
What page are you on?
5,
Page 5, you're gonna find Doug Hill,
yeah.
and he got 1 vote.
Correct. Next is page 6, 5th district, Mickelson.
Got 1 vote.
Correct. And then page 7, 7th district, Commissioner Democrat, Elena Smith.
Got 1 vote.
Correct.
Now, we're gonna wanna go to our Democratic precinct delegates.
Which are, we're gonna go back through, we're gonna go to
Okay. Oh, we're going,
page
Back, back.
21.
Page 21,
got it.
Is where it starts, precinct delegate, City of Midland, keep going, page 22. 3rd, precinct 3 delegate Democrat, Linda Mickelson,
got 1 vote.
1 vote. Continuing down, precinct 4 delegate, City of Midland, Julie Ortiz,
1 vote.
correct.
Okay, so that should be it for our Democratic candidates.
Yep,
So then you're gonna start with your first page of your Republicans with your US Senator race.
which is going to be page 28.
Page 28. Everybody good on 28?
Justin Amash got 1.
At the bottom,
So we got, a US Senator, we got Amash with 1 and Rogers with 1,
correct.
okay? Moving on to your congressional race,
Page 29,
should have Young with 1 and Hudson with 1.
correct.
Moving on to your state rep race, should have Shooty with 1.
Correct.
And then what race do we go to, prosecutor? Prosecutor, JD Brooks, 1 vote.
Correct.
Then who do you have?
Sheriff?
Sheriff. So sheriff, we have Holzinger with 2,
Correct.
then who?
Clerk?
Clerk, that would be me
Clerk.
with 1 vote,
1 vote, correct.
then who?
Treasurer,
Lunsford, 1 vote,
1 vote, correct.
Register of Deeds, Anway,
1 vote,
1 vote.
correct.
okay? And then from Drain Commissioner, McCann, one vote.
Correct.
Then I think we only have then, our proposals. So find your proposals.
Make sure all the rest of them are zero.
Yeah, we can do that too.
I would.
Proposals are gonna be like way to the back.
Okay.
You're looking at page 61 of 65.
61. Alright,
First one should be our 911, should have 5 yes and 1 no.
5 yes, 1 no.
yep,
Our road
Go to the
one
next page, which is gonna be page 62 at the top.
should have 5 yes votes, 1 no vote.
Correct.
Pine Crest, 5 yes, 1 no.
Correct.
And that, folks, is every single ballot that was put through that machine. And we have a printout, and we also have the actual ballots that we got. So I think we can say that the machine actually tallied the votes the way it was supposed to.
absolutely today it did.
Every day it does,
Every day.
because we do
I think we gave
recounts,
the
and we
fine
know that that machine tallies the votes the way it's supposed to.
So, unlike Antrim County, we're gonna clear it first, instead of adding this.
That's not what happened in Antrim. Would you like me to give you a would you like me to
Up
let you
in,
know?
what's it Antrim?
Yeah, I know, but that's not what happened. What
That's
happened in Antrim, so, what, you're aware?
Yeah.
Or you're just making stuff up?
No,
Cause I wanna make sure that we're clear. Because in Antrim, it wasn't that they didn't clear the machine. It was that they had received their programming from the programmers for the election. They had uploaded all the data into their machines. Then they had an error, so they had to make a change to the programming.
To the EMS.
And so what happened then was because they didn't re-burn all of their media, all the cards that go in these machines, because they made a change, they didn't re-burn it all, they only re-burned the precinct that was a problem. But because they did that, it didn't talk to,
that's what I meant.
right, okay, I just wanna make sure we're clear, 'cause
I-
that's how misinformation gets out
I
there,
know,
and
but
I don't like that.
I knew.
I'm happy with facts, but when we start sending out
I know.
misinformation, it kills me. John, if you would go ahead then and run the final cume, John's gonna merge the totals into our final cume now. And we're gonna make our corrections on our, proposal sheets that we did, remember, we're gonna add whatever votes we need to add.
Yep.
So we're gonna do that, and then we should be done with our canvas, and we'll seal everything up.
Good.
So if you want, actually, I think now would be a fine time for you to seal, the ballots and stuff into your, into the bags, so that John's gonna take a few minutes to
Yeah.
run that final cume, so,
Alright.
then we'll be able to move
Let me
forward.
grab the.
You got that one hope ballot,
The
yeah.
one, yeah, I'm looking for the one hope ballot.
I think it was, well, as I say, I think it was.
Hi, we're gonna be late.
Stick that in there, and then that's on the bag on the counter.
This is hope?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's hope.
I should be home by 11. Well,
So we throw it in there, and
you do that. Alright,
so do we have,
Is there anything else that goes in the bag other than just the ballot? Like the envelopes?
Yeah, this is hope. So it
hope?
doesn't matter, we can do this.
yeah, that
Okay,
goes
that's
into,
hope.
that goes into hope.
And then the
Alright.
rest of the stuff goes into the city bag.
So, and we seal this, right?
Okay.
Yep, you're gonna, did,
Seal it?
yep,
I did it.
Did we sign?
206541. No, it's gonna be on this one right here.
Alright,
206541. Knock yourself out.
where do we put it? Do what?
make sure that you put it through the little eye,
No, put it
and then
through-
through the eye of the zipper.
Yeah. Do the eye of the zipper below it.
Yep, no, right there.
This one, yeah.
Yep,
Is
right there.
okay?
Yep.
Got it?
Yep.
Alright.
So, let's see, where do we
I
do
don't know if you
this?
need that back. More office supplies for you.
You here?
Yeah.
What place it can go? Like this, pull it tight? What?
Yep,
Fold.
Oh, put it in the other way, what the heck?
Yeah, if it goes the other way.
There
I
you
tried to do it the wrong way.
There you
too.
go.
It's really tough.
Oh,
there you go.
Like this and such?
Yep, there you
Yeah,
go.
keep going.
Even tighter?
That's good right
All the
there.
way.
Perfect.
Alright.
Perfect.
Here's the city of Midland. Everything, 206542. This thing in there. That's everything, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Oh, wait,
Wait.
hang on, let's put our tapes in there.
Okay.
We'll put
In the
tapes-
city of Midland?
Yeah, we'll put
City?
them in the city, it doesn't matter. We
You
can
wanna
put
pull
them in
that one,
one.
you wanna pull that one? or-
That one,
That's
no,
the
that was
first.
just an extra copy that was gonna print,
Oh,
and I
okay.
had John stop it. So we
Okay.
have our zeros tape, the one that we printed out had nothing but zeros on it to show that the polls had no ballots on it. And then these are our result tapes that you guys signed.
Zip it up. And knock yourself out. So, waste.
There you go. Just like uptown.
Boom.
Oh, don't steal my pen.
Which
Mr.
pen?
Durant. Did you steal my pen, or did I leave it over there? Cause we have to add the votes for, the road millage, 911 and Pinecrest.
Yay.
Coffee money
Coffee money.
tomorrow. Almost, except price of coffee's going up.
Price of everything's going up. Oh, and, the state of Michigan has just released an updated Board of Canvassers manual, so I will distribute those to all of you.
Yay.
Question on that, Ann,
Yes.
does that, did they sign in that, canvasser law in 602, was it? Does that include some of the stuff they wanted to rush through before then?
If in fact that has passed, through the House and Senate, it will not go into effect until December 31st. It was not given immediate effect, so I don't even know that it's passed yet. I haven't gotten information about that, but,
Yeah, I just wondered if they, since they gave
No.
something new, that they rushed that
No.
through, cause they were.
they didn't rush it through. No, this doesn't have anything to do with any of the new rules. And quite frankly, the changes that 602 make to canvassing are very, very minimal. I know originally some people thought that it was taking away some of the canvassers' rights. It is not. It was just clearing up language, so.
I read through it.
I don't see where, I read through it numerous times, but I don't see where the changes in 602 affect this Board of Canvassers at all.
But
So,
on the investigative, functions, that didn't change, so, I mean, you wouldn't have a right to subpoena for, investigative questions or whatever, if you found something.
we're not, so this body is not a body of law, okay? This body is a body of procedure. I mean, they don't get to make legal decisions about whether or not there can be a subpoena. That is up to an individual who is challenging the canvassers. If they file a lawsuit, then they could subpoena something. But this body is not, that is not their job.
They don't have a right to investigate.
Well, we did, last week.
Well, no, I
we
mean
wanted to-
legally through subpoena before, and then now that's gonna change. That's my question.
This body has never in the 35 years I've been here, ever subpoenaed any information regarding anything. I wouldn't even know what you would subpoena.
Yeah, right.
So whether or not, I mean, if that, and I don't really remember that, the law reading that, the change to them being able to subpoena. I don't remember seeing that, but, it's kind of like the Elections Commission when someone files to do a recall. We can't go out and investigate whether or not the allegations that are put in the recall petition are fact. We don't have the ability to do that. We're not an investigative body. We determine whether or not the language is clear enough for the average voter to understand, and we move forward. We don't go out and say, Steve Durance was wearing a purple tie, which is why he's being recalled. We don't go out and investigate if in fact Steve was actually wearing a purple tie.
It's more like everything's brought to us and we just evaluate what's brought to us, but don't have the ability to ask for anything more, I guess. But it's just, we have a, you know, it's like Dave said, we have to examine the ballots if there's a question of what's brought to us, but as far as going out for more than that, we really don't. We're just sort of like receiving information and then we just make a decision based on what we receive.
Okay, you know, what brings to mind is the Wayne County certification in 2020 when they had 70+% precinct imbalance.
I'm gonna go ahead
And
and
they-
those
and they-
deadlines to the senior so we can get that.
I mean, I watched the
certification.
hearing,
So just wanna give you.
and they forced
Amanda
that
said, you know,
certification
double check,
pretty
make sure
heavily.
you're in the senior.
So, you know, and I know you guys run everything so well. I'm so impressed. But that didn't happen then, and they were forced to certify faulty paperwork or whatever. So that doesn't happen here, but I'm just wondering, how is this law gonna help that kind of a situation?
Well,
Midland
I
County is
don't
great.
think, at the end of the day, the Board of Canvassers represent each party, right? And as far as being forced to do something, I don't think anyone held a gun to any of the canvassers' head in Wayne County and told them they had to do this. They made
They
that
just
decision
doxed one of
based
them.
on, what's that?
They just doxed one of the Republican women and said, I know where your child goes to school. And
Well, people make threats
And
of
we'll do
stupid
it-
nature all the time. There's nothing you can do about people making dumb.
live on TV though, it was horrible.
I don't know, I think that sometimes we get too wrapped up in, fake news.
Well, they were promised a full forensic audit for Wayne
You know,
County.
and there was a full forensic audit, and you know, I mean, part of what happened again was people made statements, just as Dennis made his statement, and he retracted it because he knew what I was saying. Like, don't say things that aren't complete, because that's how people get misinformation. That's what happened down in Wayne County. There was a lot of that going on. Same thing in Antrim. There was a lot of that going on, and I mean.
Well, at the end of the day, they certified
At the end of the day, they certified, and
precincts
that's the
that were not
results.
in balance.
Well, and there were reasons why they did that, and they have to make a decision, just like this board has to make a decision. We had 2 precincts, I think, that were off one ballot, and there was no explanation. This board had to make a decision about whether or not to certify those.
Right.
You know, I mean, every board of canvassers has that responsibility. And how they go about doing it is up to them. I mean, they make those decisions. It's certainly not me telling them they have to do any of that. That's the decisions that they get to make. So.
That's the fun
Okay.
part.
What's
Yeah.
that?
That's the fun part of the job.
That's
What,
the fun
being able
part.
to disagree with her?
Yes.
And it's okay if you disagree. I'm happy
Yeah,
with
we're
you to
supposed to
disagree.
disagree.
That's
If we
part
agreed
of
on everything, that'd be scary.
That's part of the why this process works, is, you know, there's, you know, challenge, and, I mean, just like today, we certainly didn't have to go through and take all those ballots and tally them up on a piece of paper and do all that, but, you know, we do those things to make sure that everyone's comfortable with the process. At the end of the day, that's the important part, that we can clearly say that machine is counting the ballots the way it's supposed to. And everyone gets to see that.
Okay.
That's very
Which
important.
way is?
Well, I agree. I think it'd be a mess if it didn't.
Well,
and
of course it would be a mess if you didn't.
I wouldn't
But,
envy
but I
you.
mean, but you saw how long it took us to go through those 7 ballots.
Yes.
Can you imagine going through 70,000 ballots? I mean.
Well, it's just like they're running a precinct, for every precinct, you have to redo everything. It's like running a separate election almost. I mean, you had to open up the,
You know, I'm just saying, you know,
close.
people think that,
Yeah, it
that
takes a
hand
while.
counting ballots is the way that you should go, and I will tell you that that is absolutely, not something that you wanna go
Yeah,
into.
other
That you
countries
just
do
don't.
it.
I mean,
Very
there's
tedious.
just no way.
It's very tedious.
Especially in a primary, you know, because if someone splits their ticket and you don't happen to catch that they voted on both sides of the ballot and you end up giving votes to, people that aren't supposed to get them, I mean, that to me is just a nightmare. That's just a nightmare waiting to happen. But again, at the end of the day, I got 4 more years.
Yeah.
And you guys can do whatever you want. You guys can hand count ballots, you can go back to, you know, tablets for all I care, it doesn't matter.
So are you grooming anyone to take your place yet?
No, you know, cause I keep saying 4 years and my husband's like, you're never gonna leave.
And he says what? He wants
He tells me I'm never gonna leave. So we'll see who wins that, but I don't know, we'll see. I love my job, I love what I do, I mean, my job is so diverse that, you know, I can come over here with my happy people or having babies and getting married, or I can go work at the courthouse with my people who are either happy or sad they're getting a divorce, you know, so, I mean, it's kind of, you know, and then, you know, you throw in elections and, stuff like that, so I love what I do.
Key is to keep active after you're retired.
Well, I'm certain that won't be a problem, I have 4 grandchildren, so I'm sure they'll, but see, that's my problem, right, like, I don't wanna be a full-time nanny, I wanna be Nana, who gets to see her kids, you know, her grandkids, and give them back, exactly. So, yeah, so we'll see.
But, you know, you get old fast if you're not active.
But I'll have 39 years and 11 and a half months of service in December.
39, you're almost 40 years?
Almost, I'll be 40 years, I'll be 40 years on January 16th of, 2029. Did you make a copy for everyone?
No, does everybody want a copy?
Well, yeah, you're probably gonna need it.
I made the book copy.
I'll
When we
see.
seal up,
I'll
I'll
see.
get it.
Cause I have 35 years in right now.
That's pretty good. That's very good. You gotta be senior.
I think there's only one other person who's still working that has more county seniority than I. And that would be, Craig Maxwell, who does our benefits, in the finance department, our health insurance. Cause I do the pension for all of the employees, but he does healthcare. So I think he's got me by about 3 months.
But you work over in the courthouse also doing duties
Yeah, so,
that in many counties are done by other people.
correct,
So you're doing 2 jobs.
that is correct.
I don't think that courthouse job is, that's extra.
Yeah, so,
The way I understand it.
yeah, so there's probably about 30 counties in the state that the clerk actually has, circuit court
Mr. Walking around money.
Nothing in there.
And we happen to be
Oh,
one
yeah.
of them,
But
but
still
yeah, there's,
take, how'd
you
you
know,
do
there's
that?
the jury, there's the, you know, having staff in the courtrooms for the
Yeah,
judges
put yours
every
next.
single day.
Thank you.
There's processing all the paperwork for the judges, recording all the proceedings, I mean, it's a whole nother, yeah, you're right, it's a whole nother job. So,
I mean, in smaller counties, there's more common. The bigger counties, they have separate people to do that. I was talking to our drain commissioner and he says, you know, most counties north of here, they have part-time drain commissioners.
absolutely.
And most counties south of here are full-time drain commissioners. Cause they're bigger, more population.
More people affected by drains, probably.
I don't know why or what.
It's gotta be.
I mean, that's an arcane job, that's kind of a, who ever knows what that is, but,
Developers, not just, you know, you think of it as being an agricultural issue, but down there it's probably a developer issue too, as far as neighborhoods.
it's a developer issue, it's an
Subdivisions.
engineering job, really. I
Yeah.
mean, you should be.
Yeah, should be an engineer.
If you're in some of these places, you better be a civil engineer.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm actually surprised that our drain commission doesn't have some of those requirements, because we do have, I mean, we have, not as much as we used to, but we have, for a while there, we have a lot of development going on.
I know.
I mean, when John Rapanis was alive, I remember him and I going toe to toe, I can't tell you how many times over clapboard stuff. It's like,
I like John.
John,
I was thinking of him yesterday.
you have to work with me here, like, there are rules. I can't just do this by snapping your fingers in my face.
I was
That's
thinking
not
of John.
Yeah.
He was a character. Yeah,
He was a
character.
he was-
What you would think.
And then the next time he would, you know, I would see him, he'd come up and give me a big hug and tell me how awesome I was. And I'm like, well, you weren't
Great
calling me that
job.
yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the thing about him, he would be, I had had him insured for a while,
Oh,
and it
Lord.
was either love or hate.
Mhm.
But he became a good friend, and,
Oh, I considered him
Yeah.
a friend.
but he was a genius, really.
But, yeah, we definitely had
And he
our.
was a speed reader, and he had incredible memory. You knew.
Yeah.
You knew John,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a character.
but there's so many things I could say about John.
I agree. He was always fun, I'll tell you that. Didn't matter what you were,
He was right in there.
what
He
you were
always
going up against him
paid
about. He
attention
was
to,
all
and
over.
he was incredible on detail. And, if he got into a tussle, he would not quit. Witness the Supreme Court decision, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
On
That
takings.
one.
I mean, he really defined his, he really went to the man on that issue of takings. Remember? I mean, he's famous for that. I don't know where you were in that, during that time, Steve.
A little before my time, but yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
But by the time you went to the Supreme Court, it's
I mean,
I was back
you're-
here.
There was the Ed Durant's era. I came over when your dad was still involved in politics.
Yeah.
And I met him through that for the first few years.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause you came over where, from Mount Pleasant?
Mount Pleasant.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a different story.
Should have asked you just run on page 60.
I would need potatoes for that, I made it.
Yeah. And then it turns out, once you start cooking it right, you're like.
This one felt like half the week, so this one got pretty double-sided. Like, why does this one
Okay,
feel like this?
so we're gonna start right,
Mine, well, all right.
we're gonna start right on, the first, brace, on the very first page you guys have there. So we're gonna have to, look at all the numbers for the state offices. We're gonna do the Dems first like we did before, and then we'll flip to the Republicans, okay, just to make it a little easier. So the first race you're gonna be looking at is United States Senator Hill Harper. You have 921 votes.
Yes.
For Alyssa Slotkin, you have 6,060 votes,
Correct.
okay? Now you're gonna flip to your second, congressional district. Your Dem there is gonna be Michael Lynch, and he received 454 votes,
Got it.
okay? And then we're gonna go to our 8th congressional district, and our first Dem, Matt Collier, got 607 votes.
Correct.
Kristen Rivette, 5,515 votes.
Correct.
Pamela Pugh, 481 votes.
Correct.
And then on to the state rep, 95th district. We have our Democrat Sabrina Lopez with 6,212 votes.
Correct.
Now, if you would please direct them, Steve, to the Republican,
Yep. Here.
front of the first part of the ballot. You can use the other one that you marked up.
Yeah, I think we're looking at page 28. No, I'm going from one-sided to two-sided, but I think, page 28, bottom.
This is going to be our Republican, United States Senator. Everybody there? Page
Bottom of 28.
Oh, because it's stapled in the,
Which one is it?
the United States Senator race on the bottom of page 28.
You're halfway through.
Go ahead, just go ahead.
Justin Amash, 789.
Correct.
Sherry O'Donnell, 848.
Correct.
Sandy Pensler, 701.
Correct.
Mike Rogers, 7,036.
Correct.
Okay,
And go to page 29.
and this is for our congressional second district. John Molinar, 1,523.
Correct.
Going on to the 8th district, our first one is Mary Draves, 2,343.
Correct.
Anthony Hudson, 657.
Correct.
Paul Young, 5,112.
Correct.
Going on to our 98th state rep, Bill Schutte, 9,022.
Correct. 95th.
95th, sorry.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
and
Now
then
we-
we gotta go all the way to the back for our proposals.
Here.
Should start with 911.
Precinct delegates here. Alright, past that, alright. Page 61. Third item down, page 61.
Sorry, last
You
one?
would just look together.
Oh, it's here.
You got it, Dennis?
You got it, okay, here we go.
Alright, 61.
All right, so for Central Dispatch 911, total number of yes votes,
14,591.
and total number of no votes.
2,741.
Okay. And moving on to our road millage, yes votes
13,477.
and no votes.
3,839.
All right, and last but not least is Pinecrest.
Top of page 62, yes votes 11,285,
No votes.
5,802.
Okay, wonderful. So we're just gonna go ahead and, pass around the final canvas sheet for you all to sign, and that should be a wrap.
You don't need all the other things on here? I mean, all the,
The only things that, so your report that you received has all these numbers added into it for the individual candidates.
yeah.
But we verify the numbers for the state reporting, for the state candidates. But we don't go through, even on the regular canvas, we don't go through every single page of the canvas and say, yes, that's how many votes.
So these villages go into the state?
The villages, we have certificates of determination that we have to send out to the county that says that this millage passed. And if we had any townships, but we didn't have any township ballots except for Hope, then we would have to go in and we'd have to do a correction on their statement of, their certificate of determination as well. The numbers didn't change.
The outcome
From-
didn't change.
Well, the numbers didn't
And the
change
numbers didn't change.
on the township because we didn't have any township ballots other than Hope
Right.
from the original canvas. We already did this. We did this last week,
We went through all these things?
last Thursday.
Yep.
We went through all of these.
Okay.
And we read them and you gave me numbers and we filled them all out and you signed them. We only had to update the ones that actually had numbers that changed,
Correct.
okay?
Yep.
We're all on the same page? Okay.
Short-term memory loss.
That's okay, no, you're fine, like I said, when you have a question, please ask it, cause other people might have the same one. So I don't have a problem answering the question. If you got one, ask it,
Okay.
that's what I'm here for. If I can't answer it, I always will tell you that too,
Let's hear one.
where are we? Doesn't matter.
You're going, Dennis.
So that's the only form we need to sign in?
Yes, all the other forms we already signed, and I just added the vote, the
Yeah.
changes on their certificate of determination,
Got it. See it.
for those ballots, so.
Okay. All good.
Other than that, we are complete.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
David.
of course.
Second from Dennis. Any further conversation, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.
Write-ins, and then we'll take the Hope Township ballot out and put that in their bag, and then the city's in their bag.
Gotta get with one cameras up.
You're funny. Have you worked your fair booth?
I haven't heard a word about it, no.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what's the law on processing a ballot that's opened?
What are you talking about?
So there was a ballot that came here unopened before I got here.
The
It
ballot
was
wasn't open.
unsealed.
Nope,
It was at the election place, it was.
It was sealed.
Unsealed.
What happened was, an older gentleman brought in him and his wife's ballots to the city clerk's office.
Oh.
Both of the ballots were not sealed. And so the city clerk said, sorry, but we can't do that. You cannot bring your spouse's ballot to me if it's unsealed.
Oh.
The only time you can take a ballot for your spouse is if, as long as it's sealed up, you can drop it off, okay? These were both unsealed. So the gentleman went outside, had told the city that his wife was in the car and was gonna take it out and have her seal it. The city was gonna go verify that fact. Well, the wife actually wasn't there. The gentleman just sealed them when he was outside. So that's when that whole issue came up about how, whether or not how they wanted to handle it. So they
Okay.
decided that they weren't gonna process it because she did not seal it herself.
But he wanted it processed.
What's that?
But your canvasser wanted it processed.
One of them did. The other two voted no, not to.
Okay.
Whoops, sorry.
All right.
That.
Now,
If
this
they have
is
one
Jerome's ballot.
noteworthy.
This one?
No, he was just, I told him we're gonna put the cities in one bag.
Oh,
we're
Jerome,
not gonna do
sorry,
multiple
didn't
bags.
Yeah.
I was thinking township, I'm like,
Actually, it's
Sorry.
Jarom.
I did see
Jerome.
that.
You ready?
All right, what do you got?
Slotkin,
Slotkin,
Rivet,
Rivet,
Other side. Or other.
there was no other,
no other vote?
No,
and down
Flip
just the
over.
proposals,
3 yeses.
Nothing on delegates or county commissioner?
nothing,
Got it.
and 3 yeses on the back.
County proposal 911,
Yes,
yes. Road millage renewal,
Yes.
yes. Pinecrest Farms,
Yes.
yes. Boom.
That's it.
Make sure you take the stub off.
Take the stuff,
Yes,
wait,
ma'am.
wait for it, what's the stub, what's the stub number on that one?
1843.
1843.
Professional ballot caster.
I know not a gentleman.
We will have a bag for you, but we'll bring it back to you once we get it all sealed up. We're only gonna give you one. Actually, you can take this bag back. It's empty. We're only gonna use one. There's no need to get that two, so.
Thank you.
So are we ready to open up?
Thank
the
you.
So-
active use?
No, we have to close polls first.
Did you guys do votes ballot? Did you vote
Yes.
ballot?
Yes. Where's your credentials at, Johnny?
Right here.
Because we need to close the polls. So Dennis, you have to come up and see this process, because I know you've never been an election inspector. So there's, security key has to be placed onto the security button. You select close polls. There's a code that is given to the chairperson of the precinct that they put into the machine, that verifies that, yes, you wanna do this.
We have 7 ballots cast.
Yes.
And now we wait.
And this is gonna be a process, guys.
It's
And I'm
gonna print, it's gonna run out of paper.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna load another paper roll, and it's gonna print, and then it's gonna run out of paper, and I'll load
I'm
another
pulling
paper
out
roll.
the zero tape, just because this is going to be very, very long as well.
We might make it.
So, no, you're not.
Yeah, roll it as we go,
Well, the only problem with that is,
cause we have to roll it, yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have to unroll it to see the vote totals.
So the vote totals, the machine's gonna read them in and put it in the appropriate place. I mean, are they gonna make
Well,
notes?
right, but look at.
Right, but do they need to record this in the minutes of the canvasser meeting?
Well, no, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Because
They've-
we're gonna run a cume.
There you go.
After this is all done, John will pull the cards out. We'll run a cumulative and we will see where all the votes were added, but,
Okay.
I don't know. And they may wanna verify it, John, so.
Oh, absolutely. If you wanna look at the tape while it's rolling out, I would expect you to, but I don't know. What I was asking is, what are we doing with the information that there's votes on the tape? Unless you wanted it in the minutes that this person, for each one that was received today, but that'll be done by nature of that other report, so.
Right, when you do the,
I presume the three of us signed the tape?
yes.
It was all new
Print that
uncharted
out.
territory.
You
so.
step off your phone, we'll be
Yeah,
right back.
Last time we just manually added the vote, but it was
Put
one
on
race.
minutes, I'm leaving for a minute, I'll be right back.
This time manually adding all these
Now in
bars.
November, what will we do? This?
I think so.
Or like we have done in the past? I prefer to do it so we can see it like we did in the past, where we go through and
Counted the
each of us
tally.
get a copy, right?
Yep, so you could have taken those ballots and wrote down the votes that were on
We
those
could
ballots, yep. But here's the only thing, and it's your decision if you wanna run them on the tabulator or do it by hand. If you do them by hand, I then have to take those numbers in and hand key those into the EMS. So I make the numbers say what they say.
Into the
This
election
way,
management.
I take these cards in and I read them in and there's no human participation in that,
Well,
because that doesn't
but
happen.
is there a tracking?
Of what I put in there, what I hand put in, just, if you know that, let's say Dennis Sterner had 100 votes before John put it in, and Dennis Sterner now has 103 votes, then that is your tracking, that you see it
You're
adjust
actually
by
somebody's
3.
looking over his shoulder when he's putting it in.
Well, that's the thing, is
Well, the thing is, we have a system in place that all four of us, and Scott's not here, understood, because we've done it a number of times.
You've done it once.
Right.
You did it one
We've only been
time.
required to do this, to process
Oh,
these
since-
ballots
Yeah,
since
in
twenty
February.
twenty-two.
In February was one
February,
vote, one
yeah.
that I
Yeah,
had.
we're running out of tape. John's gonna have to replace the tape here in a minute.
So in February, I had to place one vote in one contest in the entire county. today I would have to place 7 ballots worth of votes in 7 different precincts or whatever the case may be.
I understand that.
It's a lot more human interest, but if you're okay with that, I'll do it. But it's gonna take about an hour to an hour and a half for me to put that in today or November.
Well, I prefer to do it, you know, right at this point in time.
Yeah,
Even if we invest another hour in it, okay,
Okay.
but it's more easily understood by the public.
His is more accurate though.
Well, you're saying you might make a mistake by
My
making.
hand can't, absolutely.
Well,
I'm
this,
human.
yeah, but a lot of people
You wanna go back to hand ballots?
think the machines don't, aren't, you know, they may
Well,
make mistakes.
That's a conversation for
That's a
whether
philosophical
or not,
conversation.
whether or not the machine makes a mistake. You know, you could say that, but I have yet to see proof of that
Well,
in our
okay.
county. We do hand counts and hand
I
lands.
understand, but
and
I'm
they've
not gonna
been
get into
pretty
philosophical debates on it. I'm giving you my one point of view.
Yeah, you missed this, but Dennis would prefer we not use the
Tabulator.
tabulator to do
In
these
November.
ballots in
Okay.
November. He wants to do it like he did before, where you read off the vote totals and then John adds them into the system.
So let me tell you the difference. The difference is, this way, no human error, the machine counts it, you load the cards. A couple minutes from when I go in there, maybe 15, 20, I come back out with a report for you, and no human touch that data, right?
Yep.
The way that we do it Dennis's way is what we did in February, to where you record the votes manually. I have to go into each vote total in the EMS, manually change that data, verify that it's done to the tune of, well, if we have what we have here, we don't know, we may only have 1 ballot in November. But if we have what we have here, about 230 races that have the possibility of having totals added to that have to be done manually.
Well-
And then I'm not gonna add them and count that I got it correct the first time. I'm gonna make, and double check me, and probably one of the other staff double check me. Then we produce the reports when we come in here. It's doable. It does have the human factor put back into it, and it's probably gonna take, I'd say, an hour and a half would be a good estimate. But at the end of the day, it's up to you guys. I don't mind doing the
Well,
work.
Scott's not here.
I
What
don't
what
mind
we'll
doing the
do,
work.
Yeah,
what we'll do is
we'll
we
decide
will,
when Scott's
we will,
here.
right, what we're gonna do is we'll set it up so that in November, both ways. So you guys can decide.
It'll be time, knowing this now, we have time to contemplate it.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, we don't care, Dennis,
No.
either way. It doesn't matter, you guys make
An
the
extra
rules.
hour and a half
You know, we just,
for this
we're just here
magnitude
to-
of importance
Absolutely.
Yeah,
is
I mean-
not part of one of the things.
It's
I
not,
would
it's not the
consider.
time, it's not the time that it takes, it's my contention, it's the human factor being
Of
reintroduced.
Well, we know
See,
you.
I
That's my
prefer,
only-
frankly, I prefer it done both ways, but.
And then you
That's
give it to
another-
the candidate.
I do, now that you mention it,
I want it
Mr.
both
Chairman.
Makes me feel better.
And
Okay, so-
actually, don't do your calculation first and see what
So-
you come up with,
So here's what I
and
want
then
you
run
to
it through
do.
the
I want
tabulator
you
to
to
confirm
print
his
off
numbers are correct.
A
Tally sheet?
tally sheet for
Right now?
this. Mhm.
Can do.
Well, no, you gotta have the cards.
I mean, this is
You know what
not
I'm saying?
a,
I want you to
Fun.
print a report, and then we're gonna take the ballots out
We're gonna see how good John
and
is.
compare.
I love it.
but
Okay.
this is
You
not
get both
a,
ways.
Yeah.
this is not,
Do 'em both ways,
nothing
but you go
today
out
could have
first.
changed anything on any
No.
election.
No, not unless we would have had people in Jasper.
Correct.
Because Jasper
There
was the
one-
only one
I know
that
there
was
was
close.
one vote in one of them,
Yeah, Jasper was really close.
on a precinct delegate race.
There was a precinct delegate race, was there.
And
that one,
I
think,
beat my
wasn't
wife
the
by one vote, which has never happened before.
Larkin's precinct delegate race was also contested and close.
Hmm.
So there were two
Did you
precinct
tell it
delegate
to
races.
print another tape?
It's gonna print 3 automatically. It just doesn't matter.
Why did you do that?
I didn't tell it, it just does it. I can make it
Well,
stop.
see, there you go. She doesn't listen.
When you do total stakes, it's always triggered for 3. But you got one?
Yeah, right here.
It's awesome. Alright, so, now I need to shut down and go read that card, get that report that you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're gonna compare
Just
the ballots.
for these ballots.
I love it.
And then they're gonna take the ballots out and they're going to verify that the number of votes that are on that printout that
love
you're
it.
going to do is the same number of ballots on these ballots, or same number of votes on these ballots. Cause that will give them
Confidence.
both right.
And I don't have to hand key all those things in.
Okay,
So
so
I get what I
I
want.
want you guys to
They
sign
want-
this tape, this is the total tape,
Alright,
and John's gonna go upload this data.
Be right back.
alright.
And then, John, I need the key, cause I'm gonna, open this up. Do you need this right now? Okay,
Well, I just need cards.
alright.
And actually, you know what? Let's leave the red card in. That way I only have the green card if they're already. I'll leave this one.
Now we make sure we have 7 ballots in the box.
Yep, so if someone wants to go ahead and pull the ballots out, making sure to check, if there is any write-ins.
Where are they?
He's got them
He's-
in the bin.
I just opened up the bin, so.
All right. There should be 7.
I take one out so I don't have to open up the other side.
9, 10, oh, wait, 1, 2,
2.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. So you need to separate the whole
We're not gonna
ballot?
do anything until he comes back with that report, so you guys can look at these and you can verify. So, I mean, I don't know what you wanna do, if you want to right now,
City of Midland. Do we put these, when we're done, are we putting these back in these blue
yeah, we'll
bags?
put hope in theirs, which is
Yeah,
this one
which
right
is
here,
that one right
and
there.
then the hope of the cities in their bag.
Okay.
But you guys wanna do the totals, right?
Yep.
So you're gonna have to start by, like, I don't know what you wanna do, but someone's gonna have to do a tally, right? So you're gonna have to start with the first race. So US Senator, and someone's gonna have to tell me how
You
many,
can do that right now.
Yeah.
okay,
Let's do that right now.
You ready?
alright,
So if
well,
we do that now,
let me
we
sit
have to
down,
have
let
to
me
do that
sit down,
December,
because this is
right?
gonna
What's
take a
that?
minute.
If we do it now, you'll be confident in it, we won't have to do it in November? Is that the,
Oh, I'm not, well,
I don't know.
that I can't tell you. I'm confident about November, if that's what you're asking me in general.
Okay, so,
if
the
it
first
turns out
race on the
even-
ballot,
Yes.
You'll be happy.
Yeah, I'll be happy.
Good.
Okay,
If it's off, we'll have to recount it.
Okay.
okay, wait, so US Senator, we have 2 candidates.
Yep.
We have Harper,
Hill Harper and Slotkin.
okay, ready?
go ahead,
Harper,
then, okay,
Slotkin.
Okay.
Slotkin.
Okay.
Slotkin.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
That's Republican. We got to do
Oh.
Republican.
Yeah, you got the Republican now? Ready?
Yeah, let's get the Republican.
Yep.
okay, who's Republican?
Amash,
Is that 1 vote for Amash?
1 for Amash.
Okay.
Rogers, 1 vote. Slotkin.
Okay.
How many you got total?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's it?
Okay, next race is the state rep,
No, Congress.
Congress, Congress.
Okay,
Pew,
who all do we have on there?
okay, we've got Pew, Collier, Rivet, Young, Graves, Hudson.
Now, look, I'm writing, so, come on.
For you're highly skilled,
Young's, Draves, and who?
Hudson.
Hudson.
Okay,
Okay. Ready?
alright,
Pew,
okay,
Rivet.
Okay.
Rivet.
Okay.
Rivet.
Okay.
Hudson.
Okay.
Young.
Okay.
Rivet. How many you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The next is the legislative
State rep.
forums, and, the only one you have that's contested is the 95th district. Ready? Lopez. Wait,
Yes, Lopez.
Lopez gets a vote,
Lopez gets 1.
okay,
Lopez, 2. Lopez, 3. Shooty, 1. That's it.
That's it.
A lot of undervotes.
The other ones are unmarked.
Okay,
Okay, the next is. Prosecuting. Okay, the next is,
Let's have sheriff or drain commissioner.
The last two. We're gonna have another Democrat side.
so we have to go prosecutor, down to 0.
but we have to
Oh,
do every
here.
race, even though
Well,
there's
it's
none.
up to you guys, if we're gonna check every single race,
I'm
then we
for
have to write.
I'm for contested races, they're all gonna be contested, but let's go down to, see if there's any contested.
So you only wanna deal with the sheriff?
So the Democratic side, there's no further
There are
votes
no
by
further
anybody.
countywide votes here.
Other than the sheriff or Republican,
Yeah, and no write-ins on the Democratic side.
okay?
So the sheriff, you got
On
one
the
right there.
Republican side,
Right, let's see. Well, you got the drain commissioner too.
yeah, we got the drain commissioner.
So you wanna do the
sheriff.
drain too?
Okay, so we have sheriff, we have none.
Do the Republicans, there's nothing gonna be on the
I know, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah,
Okay,
none,
None,
Republican none, Republican none,
None.
one for Holsinger.
okay,
Sure.
Holsinger.
Okay.
Holsinger,
okay,
and that's it.
That's
okay.
it.
Those are-
All right.
the
Now
rest
you're
are
gonna
all-
do the drain commission.
Now drain commissioner,
Okay,
which is, who's he at?
on the other side, probably.
Okay, yeah.
the second and third last one.
Drain
There
commissioner,
were some other,
Right here. This is the drain commission.
Okay.
there were some other ones on the front of this.
We got that one, we got Holsinger.
clerk, Andy.
I'm not opposed, you wanna tell me the votes for that, cause if you
Do
do,
you want, yeah.
The registered
We're
deeds,
gonna be comparing
Okay,
votes, right?
let's
Okay,
add,
all
okay,
right.
even though you're unopposed, okay.
okay, hang on, alright. Alright,
So, other ones are,
uncontested,
It's all right.
okay, so you got clerk, you got treasurer, and register of deeds.
and J.D. Brooks, which is a prosecuting attorney.
Hang on.
Those five all got one vote.
and then you have drain commissioner.
What do you mean those 5?
You got, J.D. got a vote, Holsinger got a vote,
We already got Holsinger, don't be telling me Holsinger again.
okay.
Okay,
And
and Mary
Mary got a
vote,
vote,
Okay,
Kathy Lunsford
got
got
a
a vote.
vote.
yep,
Jenny Anway got a vote.
okay,
And let's look at.
and
one-
JD got a vote.
Yeah, JD got a vote.
Okay, now we're going to drain commissioner.
Drain commissioner,
Back side.
Let's make sure that nothing's out of here.
we're not doing the front, let's look at the front.
No, you're looking at the back. The drain commissioner.
Well,
on the
he's
back.
making sure that nothing else
Oh,
is
okay.
marked on the front. for
And
the
we've got
rest of
no
those
other,
offices.
you can see
I
that all the
understand,
writings
yeah,
on there, so,
Okay.
alright. Flip it. Flip it, nothing, nothing. Nothing. And flip it. One vote, Tom McCann.
Tom McCann got one vote.
Okay,
Okay. Now let's look at,
That's the only thing in the back.
let's do the ballot proposals. They're still in front there.
which one?
Well, we got
What's the
1,
first
2,
one?
and 3.
What's the first one?
911.
911,
Okay,
yes.
wait, hang on, what's the other one? 911, what's your next one?
Road.
millage,
Okay, what's your next one?
Pinecrest.
Let's do all of them at once.
Yes.
Okay, yes,
Yes,
okay.
Second ballot. Yes.
Yes, no.
Third ballot. no vote, but 0.
Gotcha.
Next ballot, yes, yes, yes. Next ballot, yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Next ballot, no, no, yes.
Okay.
Next ballot, yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, now let's look at,
Got that one.
now let's look at,
County precinct delegates or something? I thought
okay,
it was
we
left.
have, what we have left is precinct delegates, okay?
Hang on. Each one's gonna be different because they're all different
They are,
precincts.
and I'm gonna
so-
tell you who got them, and
That would be good enough.
none here,
None.
none here.
None.
Linda Nicholson.
Yep.
None here. Now, in this case, let's see, precinct delegate. Do we see any here?
No, they're all, no, this is the very bottom. It said Hughes and Schaefer, no
None
votes, no
there.
votes.
We haven't done commissioners yet.
That's the only one we ran into.
Yeah.
We didn't, but
We'll come back to commissioners. Julie Ortez won.
Okay.
That's the
Oh, that's
commissioner, we're
the
coming back to
Commissioner,
commissioners.
right, come back to commissioner. That's it.
That's it for precinct delegates. Now we'll do county commissioners. Alright?
Okay.
There's
No vote there.
no vote there.
One vote.
One for Smith.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see.
Good.
One for Doug Hill.
Okay.
One for C.J. Mickelson.
Okay.
None.
What, like,
No.
That's it for county commissioners. Mine got it tabulated.
Okay. Alright.
How you doing? How was the party? Oh, you got some to go with. Is that for me?
I think that we're gonna need to move, yeah, we've gotta go.
Hey, is this the 10 o'clock meeting here? Hey, you guys.
Okay. So, I would need potatoes for that, right?
Yeah, and that turns out, once you start cooking it right, you're like.
This one felt like half the week, so this one got pretty double-sided. Like, why does this one feel like
Okay,
this?
so we're gonna start right,
Mine, well,
Get
all
double-sided.
right.
we're gonna start right on, the first, brace, on the very first page you guys have there. So we're gonna have to, look at all the numbers for the state offices. We're gonna do the Dems first like we did before, and then we'll flip to the Republicans, okay, just to make it a little easier. So the first race you're gonna be looking at is United States Senator Hill Harper. You have 921 votes.
Yes.
For Alyssa Slotkin, you have 6,060 votes,
Correct.
okay? Now you're gonna flip to your second, congressional district. Your Dem there is gonna be Michael Lynch, and he received 454 votes, okay? And then we're gonna go to our 8th congressional district. And our first Dem, Matt Collier, got 607 votes.
Correct.
Kristen Rivette, 5,515 votes.
Correct.
Pamela Pugh, 481 votes.
Correct.
And then on to the state rep, 95th district. We have our Democrat Sabrina Lopez with 6,212 votes.
Correct.
Now, if you would please direct them, Steve, to the Republican,
Yep. Here.
front of the first part of the ballot. You can use the other one that we marked up.
Yeah, I think we're looking at page 28. No, I'm going from one-sided to two-sided, but go page 28, bottom.
This is going to be our Republican, United States Senator. Is everybody there? Page
Bottom of 28.
Oh, because it's stapled in the,
Which one is it?
the United States Senator race on the bottom of page 28.
You're halfway through.
Go ahead, just go ahead.
Justin Amash, 789.
Correct.
Sherry O'Donnell, 848.
Correct.
Sandy Pensler, 701.
Correct.
Mike Rogers, 7,036.
Correct.
Okay,
And go to page 29.
and this is for our congressional 2nd district. John Molinar, 1,523.
Correct.
Going on to the 8th district, our first one is Mary Draves, 2,343.
Correct.
Anthony Hudson, 657.
Correct.
Paul Young, 5,112.
Correct.
Going on to our 98th state rep, Bill Schuette, 9,022.
Correct. 95th.
95th, sorry.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
and
No,
then we gotta go all the way to the back for our proposals.
Here.
Should start with 911.
Precinct delegates here. Alright, past that, alright. Page 61. Third item down, page 61.
Very last
You
one.
would just look together.
Oh, it's here.
You got it, Dennis?
You got it, okay, here we go.
Alright, 61.
All right, so for Central Dispatch 911, total number of yes votes,
14,591.
and total number of no votes.
2,741.
Okay. And moving on to our road millage, yes votes,
13,477.
and no votes.
3,839.
All right, and last but not least is Pinecrest.
Top of page 62, yes votes, 11,285,
No votes.
5,802.
Okay, wonderful. So we're just gonna go ahead and, pass around the final canvas sheet for you all to sign, and that should be a wrap.
You don't need all the other things on here? I mean, all the,
The only things that, so your report that you received has all these numbers added into it for the individual candidates.
yeah.
but we verify the numbers for the state reporting, for the state candidates. But we don't go through, even on the regular canvas, we don't go through every single page of the canvas and say, yes, that's how many votes.
So these villages go into the state?
The villages, we have certificates of determination that we have to send out to the county that says that this millage passed. And if we had any townships, but we didn't have any township ballots except for Hope, then we would have to go in and we'd have to do a correction on their statement of, their certificate of determination as well. The numbers didn't change.
But the outcome
From-
didn't change.
Well, the numbers didn't
And the
change
numbers didn't change.
on the township because we didn't have any township ballots other than Hope
Right.
from the original canvas. We already did this. We did this last week,
We went through all these things?
last Thursday.
Yep.
We went through all of these.
Okay.
And we read them and you gave me numbers and we filled them all out and you signed them. We only had to update the ones that actually had numbers that changed,
Correct.
okay?
Yep.
We're all on the same page? Okay,
Short-term memory loss.
that's okay. No, you're fine. Like I said, when you have a question, please ask it because other people might have the same one. So I don't have a problem answering the question. If you got one, ask it.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for. If I can't answer it, I always will tell you that too.
Let's see.
Wherever you are. Doesn't matter.
You got Dennis?
So that's the only form we need to sign in?
Yes, all the other forms we already signed, and I just added the vote, the
Yeah.
changes on their certificate of determination,
Got it. See it.
for those ballots, so.
Okay, all good.
Other than that, we are
Well,
complete.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
David. Second from Dennis. Any further conversation, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.